What's up, everybody? It's your boy Caleb from the 3 Point Stance podcast. Derwin is currently eating out right now with his Birmingham Stallions teammates. So shout out to him, playoff bound. Hopefully they go get that USFL championship again this year. So let's talk about some Steelers topics, guys. Give me some questions. Hopefully we get some people trickling in here. Let's see. Maybe we'll get DeMarcus Ayers back in here. Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Drop in your comments. You have any questions, any Steelers topics you want to talk about, or anything like that, just let me know. New Zealand. Hi from Colorado. What am I doing? I know what I'm doing. Nope, don't know what I'm doing. Micah, Steeler Nation. That's what I'm talking about, baby. What am I doing? What was I remember now. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? What you guys think about Chase Young? That'll be my question. What do you guys think about Chase Young being a Pittsburgh Steeler, if or when it does happen? Been a lot of talk about Calvin Austin, too. Who are you guys most looking forward to seeing the news about in training camp? Don't think we need to spend the money. Well, we necessarily wouldn't be spending the money on him because we would trade for him. And like the Allen Robinson trade, he had a big contract. And that was sorry, texting DeMarcus back. I want to see how overall the offense line is going to do. Yeah, I agree. Obviously that's going to make or break the offense and the offensive line play. I think our potential is top 5. If not, at least top 10, worst case scenario. Let me text. Keep the questions rolling, guys. Let's do this. We'll see. We'll shoot out other messages to fellow Steeler Nation members. See if they want to come hop on. Yeah, as far as offensive line goes, obviously we know Sayamalu is going to be the left guard, Mason Cole is going to be the center, James Daniels is going to be the right guard, Chuke's going to be the right tackle. Only question mark is if Dan Moore is going to at least win the starting job for a little bit before Broderick's ready, or if Broderick's going to prove that he's ready and insert himself as that starter. Yeah, I get a lot of those feelings too, Derby or Derpy. Yeah, I get a lot of those feelings too. And it's not just saying because we have a quarterback going into the second year. I mean, you just look at the overall team in general. Um, like I've talked about, I think I talked about this on the First Impression Sports Talk podcast with Jasmine Pollock the other day. I was like, we don't really have many holes on anywhere really. I mean, um, you could say middle linebacker, but I'm excited to see what Cole Holcomb can do. I'm excited to see what Landon Roberts can do. I mean, both guys are proven guys in the NFL. They've done things. So there's really not a hole on this team. And if you guys think differently, let me know. We'll debate it. We'll talk about it. Um, let's see. We got just saying Joe Burrow is saying is yeah, he does. And I mean, um, wait, Joe. I'm not going to talk about it because Joe Burrow went to Ohio State. I was an Ohio State fan. Obviously, transferred to LSU. He couldn't beat out Dwayne Haskins. He's a guy. I just, well, I mean, I think top down, and this is all going to be based off offensive line and the way Kenny develops this year. We are a better team, top to bottom, than Cincinnati. You heard it here first. What do you think George Pickens will do in his second year? I think George Pickens, if he hits everything we want him to hit, he will be a top 10, top 5 receiver this year. And who better than to talk about receivers with than my guy, DeMarcus Ayers, who answered a last-minute text message to come on this live show. As you can see, he's driving, probably on the recruiting trail right now.
Actually, not the recruiting trail right now. It's camps. It's been camp season, and our players are now back in town for summer conditioning and training, and then they're obviously taking classes as well. So it's been crazy June so far.
Yeah. I can. I mean, you're a D1 coach over there, so life's gonna get busy.
Yeah,
So, but you joined in at a perfect time because we just got a
appreciate you,
great.
man. I seen you hit me. I was like, I gotta come through for my guy for at least 5 to 10. I can get you real
Yeah.
quick. Come through, talk some ball, which is always a pleasure to have you having me on. So
Oh yeah,
appreciate you.
that's why I love having you in my corner. You're a good guy to bounce things off of. You're even whether it's life or football or anything like that. You're a great person to have in my corner, and I appreciate you for all the willingness you have had in the past year we've known each other and talking to me, and back when I was we were going to have you on the show a year ago, and then I was in the ER for whatever, like a week,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But you joined in at a perfect time because we got a perfect wide receiver related question. And as yourself,
Yep.
you were a receiver for the Steelers. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think George Pickens will do in his second year?
Is that a real question? Did anybody watch George Pickens play football last year?
I said he's going
Nah.
to be top 10, top 5.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a. I'm excited, man. Like, I've been kind of going through my off season studies of just like going through receivers and making cut ups of top guys that my guys should watch, and I definitely he's definitely about to be on that list. I just hadn't got to him yet. Um, we don't quite have anybody with his body posture and his skill set on our team right now. Just a bigger target, but it's always good to have those guys watch some of the one the up and coming receivers, and then the best up and coming receivers, and obviously the top guys to change your just to get your guys watching and who they vote their game after and after and just really just getting them out in details and releases, being able to go get the 50-50 balls and route separation and yards after the catch. And so it's crazy you asked me that because I'm literally almost to him and Deontay. Obviously, I know Deontay numbers was down a little bit last year, but just watching him train this off season and then watching him over the years, I'm excited to see that duo grow. Also excited to see what they added. I think A-Rod is going to give them a ton of flexibility. Deontay is going to see probably less bracket coverage and Tampa coverage to his side. And obviously, George is going to be George. And I think, you guys signing Allen Robinson is huge for George Pickens and Deontay because of my time I spent with him in Chicago. Obviously, he was coming off the ACL and didn't really get to fully participate in training camp, but it was just so fun to be able to work with him and just how he goes about his business, how he carries himself, his demeanor every day. He comes with the same guy, but just to see how his bag, I call it the bag when you got a toolbox. So just to see his bag and his releases, the way he sets his routes up, his ability to go up and win a 50-50 balls, I think that's going to be huge for George, just to be able to have a mentor like him, and then obviously the route running ability. Obviously, I know he's getting a little older, but I still think he has some good football ahead of him. But just having Deontay, having those guys to be able to be mentored by Allen Robinson and a guy that had a ton of success in this league, I think is going to be huge for them. And excited to see Austin. Hopefully, he's healthy this year. Feel like he's going to be able to help you guys. I think the Steelers are primed for a good year, hopefully. I'm always going to be a fan, obviously, because Mike T's the coach and the Rooney's run the organization. They always going to have my support. And, you guys just recently picked up one of my former college teammates, Landon Roberts, so always cheering for him. Still kind of mad at Atlanta because they knocked us out of the playoffs for the year, but they go to the Super Bowl. That's still my guy. Excited for him, and then I've been kind of talking back and forth with Denzel Martin as well. So still his linebackers coach. He's always been in my corner. He started off as a scout, now he's a linebackers coach. So still is always gonna have a fan of me. They done right by me, and so that's the least I could do is support them. So.
Yeah, I mean, you answered the question that I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you what you thought Allen Robinson would be for George Pickens. I mean, you answered that perfectly.
It's gonna be huge,
man. And I do want to bring in another member of Steeler Nation. We got Chris coming in. DeMarcus, this is Chris.
Let's go.
What up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
Good. How about you?
Doing good, man. Just sitting here talking ball.
Nice.
Yes, yep. So, but no, I think that's gonna be huge. I think that's gonna be huge for them, man. You can never go wrong, bringing in guys like Allen Robinson. Obviously, I think he's coming to a team that's probably gonna allow him to play a few more years because he don't have to come in and be a number one guy. But also, I think his mentor, him being able to mentor those guys, he's played a ton. What it take, and he has success, obviously in Jacksonville and then Chicago Bears, last year with the Rams. So he's he's been a part of some good organizations, and he knows what it takes to he was in those dog years in Jacksonville when they were coming and played in that AFC Championship, I believe, against the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think so.
It was the divisional round.
Divisional round. Yeah, division round. So that's gonna be huge for you guys, just to have a guy like that around. And I think it's been a while since the Steelers have actually had a solid veteran at the position. I want to say the last time probably is Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
The last vet they've actually had there, somebody that can be a voice in the receiving room on top of the guys that they already have. I'm super excited about that for you guys. So.
Yeah, people forget when A-Rob was healthy. I mean, he was a top 10, top 15 receiver in when healthy. I mean, he was a guy. He was a dog. He doesn't drop the ball by any means. I mean, he's a big-bodied guy, which is kind of what the Steelers been going after this offseason. They signed Akeem Butler in the XFL. But I'm going to let Chris go ahead and ask you a question because I can see he's got something cooking over there for you.
All right, wait, Chris.
Oh no, the first thing I was gonna do is gonna bring up for the Allen Robinson thing, and the people also forget when he was good in Chicago. Remember who his quarterback was? Mitch Trubisky. So he's already got that chemistry with the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that'd be huge. I mean, obviously, the quarterback situation is a little different. Obviously, you guys are moving forward with Kenny Pickett. Sorry, but just it's always good to have a former teammate wherever you go. I feel like that makes the transition to a new team even easier for you. And like I was telling him, just talking about Allen Robinson is. He couldn't have found a better situation this late in his career. I mean, the fan base is obviously going to embrace him, and I think that city is the type of city for a person like him. I think he's going to go in there every day, work for you guys, and embrace you guys just as much as you guys embrace him. Just, I'm hoping it goes well for him because he's a guy that deserves to go out the right way. Whether that's this year or in the next couple of years. He's a guy who deserves to be able to play for an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've been a big fan of his back to his Penn State days. I wanted the Steelers to draft him when he was, drafted by Jacksonville. But kind of one last question because I know you didn't have too much time. Since it didn't process in my mind that Landon Roberts was one of your former teammates at Houston. Let's talk about him a little bit. What do you think he can bring to the Steelers team, and I mean, what do you think of him? I guess personally, obviously, he's probably one of your best friends.
Yeah. Man, you're getting a hardworking dude, great guy on and off the field. Guys gonna give you bring a lot to that community. Be invested in you guys. Guy that works his butt off to get that guy that works his butt off to get everything he's ever been blessed with. And, he comes there with a pedigree, obviously winning 2 Super Bowls in New England, and having some success in Miami, being able to reach a second deal, and now they're reaching a third deal. Guy is just gonna come in and do everything you asked of him. He's gonna elevate his teammates. He's going to bring winning culture, winning attitude. As I said, he's probably second to none when it comes to competing. And I just think he's just going to bring a physical, hard-nosed linebacker to you guys. Defense that the Steelers Nation has always kind of had, just in that linebacker room. So he's a guy that, again, one of those guys that you just root for. Like you can want to hate him as much as you want, but he just don't do so many things that make you fall in love with him. As a person, as a player, and as a teammate, that you can't do nothing but cheer for the guy. Obviously, on a personal level, me and Landon came into Houston together. Obviously, he was a transfer freshman, but you talk about a guy that I spent pretty much almost 24 hours a day. I was probably with him 14 to 16 hours a day, just from training with him, having class with him, staying in the same apartment complex as him. And just getting to know him and how he goes about his business. He's always going to be the guy that, he's going to come in, want to learn, eager to help others once he learns. And he's going to elevate you and everyone around him. And obviously, not just talking as a football player, but as a person, you just love being around that contagious energy. And he has a beautiful family. He's bringing to Pittsburgh with him. His wife she actually was a track star at University of Houston, and now he has, I believe, 2 beautiful kids, and so everything he does is for his family, his mom and dad back home in his hometown, and his family that he's now created. And so it's just been so cool to just see him have the success because like I look at Elandon Roberts as one of my good friends, not so much as the good football player, the guy that's had all the success, won Super Bowls, won a conference championship with me in Houston. That's just what he's worked for. But as a person, man, like he's gotten everything he deserved because he's been a good dude. Like I said, it's always cool to see people like him continue to have success because you seen the work behind the scenes. And he was third on the depth chart coming in. Training camp had to sit out a year due to transfer, and so to see him go through, sitting out a year and working to earn a spot on the team for playing special teams and becoming a starter and the leader of our defense, along with William Jackson and Tyus Bowser and all those guys. Like I say, it's been a long, successful journey for him, but he's worked his butt off to get to where he is now. So impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I mean, as you know, as a former Steeler, that's what the Steelers embody is those family guys that are, because the Steelers is one big family. I mean, you can attest to this as far as, going from the Steelers locker room to went to the Bears locker room. And was it the Bucks? Was the Bucks the other team that you went to?
I think so.
No, it was the Bears, New England. Just the Bears in New England, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I had a short stint with them when he was there too. So, yeah. I mean, it's always been cool to. He was part of the reason why I ended up, not signing back to the practice squad and coming to New England because just having him there, just felt really comfortable going, being able to compete for a spot over there with the Super Bowl champions. And so, yeah, man, great dude. Lot of good things to say about him. He reminds me a lot of. I'm not saying the player, but in terms of his leadership, him and Shazier's leadership is very similar. Obviously, I played 2 years with Shazier, and I was with Elandon for 3 years. But in terms of leadership, I'm not saying the player, so I don't want anyone to be attacking me. We all know the freak athlete that Ryan Shazier was, and Elandon Roberts is a really good football player as well. But not comparing their games for anybody that's watching, just in terms of leadership and what you guys are getting. That's Elandon Roberts.
And it's just ironic that they're both wearing number 50. And it's also ironic you bring up his name because we just had Ryan Shazier on last week's episode of the 3-point stance. And again, like you're speaking to Elandon, he's a great human being. I mean, same goes for Ryan. It's the first time I got to talk to him one-on-one. Sorry for my cat. Yeah, I mean, great people. It was great to get that insight from you as far as Elandon Roberts because, I mean, what I love about you is you're so in-depth with any question I have for you. Like, you make it easy for me. You give those great answers like you just did on Elandon Roberts. Again, I think he's going to be a great player for the Steelers. And like you said, he's a great person, great human being. And, I mean, I don't think anybody has gotten that sort of insight so far amongst Steeler fans. So, again, I know you got to go. So I appreciate you and your questions. I'm glad to have you as a friend. And, if you have anything left to say it, and then you can peace out.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on. Nice to meet you as well, bro. And, hopefully still a nation win some games this year. So I look forward to it. Watching the guys on Sunday. I'm eager to get football back on my TV right now. Not the biggest baseball. That time of the year where TV's kind of like, don't know what I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can go watch the Pirates. They're playing pretty good baseball right now.
That's true. I need to get out there and come see a game. It's crazy too. Like just picking back up on. I don't know. I gotta go, but Ryan. Speaking of Ryan, like he was what Ryan was to me is what E-Rock was to me. I call him E-Rock, by the way. Not
Yeah.
Ryan, so,
Yeah.
just in terms of him being attached to his teammates and willing to help. Ryan was kind of like that for me when I first got there. He would take me to the Pirates game, take me to the hockey. I would always go to his house and play Madden, play 2K. We would go out together. Him and his wife was awesome to me. Him and his family, his trainer. I would always hang out with Ryan at baseball games. I used to enjoy it. I had never really, I wasn't a big Rangers fan growing up in Dallas, but I never really went to a Rangers game until after I got drafted. And so, being able to have that share that experience with Ryan and him to be willing to take me out and show me a good time and just, treat me around to the city. Like it's always good to have people like that. I mean, him and Elandon, man, they share some similar, things in common in terms of the leadership and how they take people on their wings. They're nice to people. They uplift people. Very demanding in leadership, and so Ryan is awesome too, man. I need to actually call Ryan and talk to him in probably a few months. So he's always been one of my good friends ever since I came in and became a part of the team. So.
Yeah, that's like I remember you bringing that up in it was either the last time I had you on the live, or it was either in the episode I had you on when I was doing the podcast solo. I remember you talk. You always talk about Ryan and in that light, and now like being able to talk to him like on our latest episode, like I see where that all comes from. Obviously, I grew up an Ohio State fan too, so I was always a fan of Ryan and everything like that. From the outside looking in, he seems like a great person, but then actually getting to talk to him, you can see that he is, as advertised. He's an amazing person, great human being. Obviously, it's tragic what happened to him. And the fact that you're saying that
Yep.
character-wise, him and Elandon are like right there with each other. I mean, obviously,
man, like,
Ryan
almost identical.
What were you saying?
Yeah, that's two great dudes to have leading your defense and being the communicator out there and laying the defense. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, thanks for coming on again, brother. You'll hear from me more often. I need to text you more because I saw the last time I texted you was the last time you were on the Steelers Live. So yeah. I need to hit you up more. We need to play some Call of Duty. I know we talked about that in the past, but I know you're a busy guy. So
we definitely got to do that. Like right now, it's gonna be the best time for me because I'm actually about to go on vacation. It's about a month, so I'm about to caught up. Like I'm about to try and play as much video games because I come back to work off this vacation and training camp, it's gonna kill me, bro. So getting ready for this, and then once the season comes, it's so hard to squeeze it in, man. Like I try to come home and detox and be with the family and mingle with them for a little while, and it just kind of like my getaways. Been able to just connect with my guys on the game, just take my mind off ball and everything, and all the crazy chaotic thing that goes on in my everyday lifestyle. So it's always good to kind of release, whether it's an hour or 2 hours, sometimes longer, depending on what the work schedule's like. But no, man, I've just been grinding my balls away these last few months, just trying to lay the groundwork out for the season and stuff. So it's gonna be, finally time to trying to just kick back and be what I need to be to my family and get them some of my time. So
I get that completely. I'm on like we just had our third child a month ago today.
Oh, nice.
She's 1 month old today. So thank you. Yeah, she's what's funny, I spent 7 hours with her by myself today because my wife went to go pick up our other two kids from my parents' house. And
bless your heart.
So so my parents gave us a little break to just kind of deal with the newborn and everything like that. So Yeah, you'll definitely be hearing from me in the next day or two when it comes to playing some Call of Duty.
Yeah, the new season just dropped too. I just went home and kind of hit a little beat. That beat kind of warmed my heart sometimes on that PS5. So hit that beat. So I just had to update it. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually. I think I'm probably gonna have to clear some space because I don't got the Series X Xbox, but I
Man,
got the Series S, so I'm gonna have to clear some space to because I know that thing's like 80 gigabytes already. I
bro,
already
I just deleted Madden already. So
know.
it's all good. They need to
Yeah.
they need to improve their game.
Yeah.
So, all right, brother, we'll let you go. Chris, you got anything to say before he hops off? You go ahead and say it.
Like I'm good for now, but yeah. But thanks for stopping by. I'm glad to meet you, and hope to see you soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate you too, Chris. You guys have a good one.
You
You
too.
too.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
He's so in depth with his answers. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he like I said, he makes my life a lot easier. Like I don't have to like some people you have to like kind of like pry for an answer. Like I can
Yeah.
ask him one question and then he's answering that question for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm like, this makes it easy.
Yeah. So I can sit back and relax while he does his thing, and yeah, we get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like he's. I'm glad he reached back out to me so quickly because I kind of texted him like 2 minutes before I even
Before we
started.
went live.
Yeah, before I went live, he was like, "Yeah, I got some time." I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome. He's a good guy to have,
Yeah.
and to be able to bounce things off of. And obviously, he's a coach now, so that's he's doing big things as far as the coaching world goes.
Yeah. Maybe I should hit him up and have him hire me as an assistant.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I got a little experience. I can do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna take he's always a good guy to have as far as like he's always willing to talk and everything like that. So for what I am trying to do as far as the podcast game and the media stuff, he's good to have because he's like as long as he's not doing his North Texas thing, coaching and everything like that, he's been willing to, oh, I'm driving right now. Like the last time I had him on, I think he was at like a Dave and Buster's or whatever. He walked out into the parking lot for 3 minutes and hopped on. So I really appreciate that effort from him and everything he does as far as that aspect. And hopefully, I think I can't remember off the top. Oh, the Landon Roberts thing. Hopefully, he gives our writers some good things to kind of take from that. Because I mean, as far as the Landon Roberts goes, I mean, there hasn't really been. I mean, we know he's a good player, but as far as that in-depth detail, we haven't had much of that kind of detail said about him. So that was great in-depth conversation from him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's go to some of these questions. Me and you can answer these together.
All right. You still have the Pickens one on screen.
Yeah, I didn't. I got caught up and listening to what he was saying, and was it cutting in and out on your end a little bit?
Yeah, that's probably because it's on mobile and he's out driving. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure it wasn't just me because it happened last time too.
Yeah.
But, Marco says, "Yo, who do you think ends up making the team as far as wide receivers?"
Okay. So we got the obvious choices, of course: Deontay, Pickens, Robinson. Those are the obvious for now.
Well, I would say Calvin Austin's probably an obvious.
Yeah, him too. Yeah, whether he's a starter or not is to be determined, but yeah, he'll be there.
And then it's going to depend on if they keep 5 or 6 receivers, which is going to be tough because I think they're going to have 4 tight ends this year. I mean, Cameron Hayward technically isn't. He's that utility guy, but he still is a tight end.
I mean, yeah, he can play fullback though, so it'll probably be okay. Like he'll take over for Derek Watt.
Yeah. So the real question is that 5th receiver, and I think I really like Hakeem Butler.
Yeah, I could see him. Gunner's almost for sure cut.
I think so too. I think that was kind of written on the wall after that Patriots game last year.
Yeah, and then going back to the whole chemistry thing, Anthony Miller would be an option.
Yeah, again, he balled out last preseason.
Yeah, he did really good. Of course, he and A-Rob used to be teammates, as well as Smith Trubisky.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, there's a lot of dogs in that room, and the only thing that I could see hindering Hakeem Butler making the team is if he can't contribute on special teams, which brings me to my next point, and actually Marcos just brought this up as well, is Miles Boykin.
Yeah.
They're the same body type. Obviously, I think Hakeem Butler has more potential as a receiver maybe than Miles Boykin, but Miles Boykin is an elite special teamer. So we know how Mike Tomlin likes his special team guys and where they go with that. And, with the loss of Benny Snell, we need more. Not necessarily a lot. Special teams wise, Benny Snell was a loss.
Yeah, and as well as Derek Watt.
Yes. And
we also lost Marcus Allen, but we brought in Tanner Muse.
Yep. Yeah, and he's had raving reports coming out of OTAs and minicamp and everything like that. And as far as I haven't played Madden in some time because it's a trash game, but
exactly,
he is one of those guys you go out and get because he is one of those 89 speed linebackers that Madden's all about speed, but the game's still trash. But this isn't Madden talk. This is about Tanner Muse. Madden is where I got introduced to Tanner Muse.
Yeah, and we might keep Boykin because I don't think Killebrew makes the roster because of the depth we have at safety and at DB in general. So that's another special teams ace we could lose.
I don't know because he is special teams captain though.
Yeah, that's true. But again, you look defensively. Of course, we got Minka, Casey, and Neal starting. Yeah. And then at very least, Norwood is going to be in competition for slot corner.
Competition with Killebrew.
Yeah, he'll be in competition with Killebrew for backup safety, and he'll be in competition with Chandon Sullivan for slot corner.
So, I know, what was it, Terrell Austin yesterday on his in his media interview, they talked about the slot position and who he had there, and he had Chandon Sullivan, Elijah Riley. That was a
Riley.
Surprise. That was a surprise name in the slot room.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Duke Dawson.
Another interesting one.
But the way I see it, Chandon Sullivan's solid. Having him for that dime package, because I think realistically, defensively, until Corey Trice is truly ready to take over for Levi Wallace, which Levi Wallace played really good ball for us last year.
Yeah.
I think I see our nickel defenses as Joey Porter Jr., Levi Wallace on the outside, Pat Pete as that slot guy. Pat Pete's not going to leave the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it happening. He's too smart of a player. I mean, he's basically a Minka in our cornerback room.
Yeah.
Because Minka's super smart. He can do all these things, and Patrick Peterson's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking when we're doing dime, I'm assuming we're going to have all three of those safeties on the field, Minka, Neal, and Casey, because again, Neal and Casey can both play that coverage linebacker role, I think Mika can, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get that kind of rotation with the safety group. And again, you know how much Mike Tomlin loves getting creative defensively and
Hmm.
mixing up where people play.
Yep.
He's going to have a blast with 3 safeties on the field at once.
Yeah, and so like I mean that was like something we talked about in our recording today of the 3-point stance was the fact that they like those exotic defenses. And like last year, it was like you just said, those 3 safety sets.
Mhm.
And KZ was hurt, the majority of the year, and then he came in, and then we got to see those 3 safety sets.
Yeah.
Now, like Terrell Edmonds and Keanu Neal are closer as a player than Terrell and DeMonte Casey.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think Casey, when healthy, is a better player than Edmonds because he hits and he's he attacks the ball.
Yeah.
He's a ball hawk. There we go. Sorry, the cat distracted me.
I can tell. It's okay. I get distracted all the time.
And then where Keanu Neal, because he played linebacker in Dallas, obviously.
Yes.
You know that. He's a physical guy, but he is a Pro Bowl safety. He's a former Pro Bowl safety as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he brings that to the table too, where I think he might have the edge over Terrell as far as that goes. Maybe not like total athlete wise,
Yeah.
but total safety play and just versatility play. I think we have an upgrade in Keanu over Terrell.
Exactly.
Let's see. Marcos also said he likes Elijah Riley over Norwood. I don't know about you, Chris, but I've been a big fan of Trey since we drafted him. Really, I know Tomlin. I think it was the COVID year we drafted him, but he went on the camera and said he announced the pick. He was like, "We're drafting the Swiss Army knife Trey Norwood out of Oklahoma."
Yeah.
And it's like he is that. He just the only thing he needs to add to his game is the physicality. And I think we've seen those improvements in his game as far as physicality goes. I don't know about you. That's what I feel like. I mean, it still has leaps and bounds to go, but it's been there.
Yeah. I also remember when his rookie year when he and Mollett were rotating at slot corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody, he wasn't always the first he wasn't always like the fastest to get to the ball, but he was always there to make the tackle. Like it seemed for a while that or whenever he was starting, wherever the ball was, Trey Norwood happened to be there. Even if he couldn't deflect it, he was there to stop the play.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where you brought up him being in the slot competition. That's where, unless he gets that physicality up more, where we see him as that kind of safety. If he's not a slot guy, he's more of that rover kind of. Like he's a. I hate to say Minka's very physical, and I mean Minka's he's the best safety in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say that out loud because it's dumb. So we'll go to this next question. Is from Ian White. He said, "Hi, Steeler Nation. I see Robinson got promoted to take reps with first squad. So he didn't technically get promoted to take those reps. Cole Holcomb's dealing with, I believe, the same injury Larry O was dealing with last season." And
that Robinson. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I know Terrell Austin. I'm sure you know this, Chris. Terrell Austin said we expect him to compete for the starting role like next year. Basically, is how he put it, which was a little surprising to me because we've seen all the hype coming out of like mini camp and OTAs. Obviously, we know who he is physical wise. What we want to see is his brains and smarts kicking in, where he's in there in pass coverage, and we saw that. I mean, we saw he had the pick six on Kenny, which we asked Kevin Dotson because we had him on our podcast that day about that interception. He talked about that a little bit. I'm a big fan of Mark Robinson. I want him to be who we think he's going to be. And I think more this year we're going to see him fill in for Robert Spillane more than we're going to be seeing him as a starter on the defense.
Yeah. It's just kind of that extra linebacker role. Because again, you saw the talent, you saw the speed, you saw the hits, but you didn't really see the mechanics.
Yeah, this is another thing we talked about on our podcast. I think we've talked about Mark Robinson like the last three episodes of our podcast. But I'm pretty sure I have ADD. I'm in the middle of talking about what
Don't worry.
About.
Yeah, I haven't
been. Oh my goodness!
I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm 95% sure I have ADHD. So yeah,
I was literally in the middle of the talk. Hold on, Mark Robinson.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the Ravens game.
Yeah.
So I mean, he showed what his talent is and what he can contribute. As far as like the running game goes, because obviously the Ravens the past few years, and yeah, they got a new offensive coordinator this year. I don't think anything's going to really change. They're just like, oh, things are changing. We're going to pass the ball more. No, you're not.
Yeah, we're going to run 10 plays per year instead of 5.
Yeah, yeah. But he proved his worth in that game. He was a big contributor on that defense in that game. I mean, he was a hard hitter. He was plugging the run. I mean, we know he's a hard hitter. He showed that in the preseason. He was knocking dudes 5 yards back anytime he was in. That's what made us excited to see him get on the field.
Yeah.
Let's see. You guys keep the questions going in. I will go back to some of these other questions.
What we got?
Let's see. Kind of going back to. Oh, this is a hot take. I think if Deontay doesn't have a touchdown by the trade deadline, I am trading him. I think he's going to. I think he's going to have a touchdown.
Because the playbook is supposed to expand for us this year. Because Pickett is learning more. Because he's still developing. Again, and even though Pickens might ascend to the wide receiver 1, Deontay can still be that speed demon on the outside.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, DJ is a top 5, top 10 route runner in the NFL. He gets open.
Exactly.
That's not an issue. And I think more so we're going to see DJ getting those reps or more balls thrown his way.
Yeah.
Because of George Pickens, which a year ago you say that, and Deontay Johnson, I believe, made the Pro Bowl the year before, and
I think so.
He's a guy. He's not a bum by any means, and a lot of Steeler fans treat him that way, like he is, but he's not. I mean, he's great to have in that locker room. He's not a disturbance. He's not anything like that. He's the closest. He doesn't have the hands of AB, but route running wise and playmaking ability wise, when he does have the ball and makes a play, in my opinion, he's close to that. Obviously, that's. I mean, by close, I mean like.
Yeah.
Let's see how far my camera goes. I mean, it's like that, but like play style wise and everything like that. That's as close as we're gonna see
Yeah, and then you also see with the last year, again, one of the issues with Johnson not getting a touchdown is the whole offense. Like they could only score like inside the 10-yard line. So when you get there, you're not looking for your speed guy because there's only 20 yards to run.
Yeah.
So you go for your big bodies, or you hand it off, or you let Pickett do it himself. Like once you get in the red zone, there's not a whole lot for Johnson to do. Like he can still run routes, he can still do something, but you don't have. But he's not a guy like Pickens where you could just kind of throw it up there and he can go one-on-one with the defender.
Yeah, and another thing as far as the touchdown goes wise, look at who we have in that room.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like we said, George Pickens, DJ, Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin, and then you look at the tight end room. There's Pat, Connor, Darnell Washington, Zach Gentry. Then you got the running backs. You got Najee, Jalen. I think Alfonso Graham could be a guy.
Yeah, he'll be competing with Anthony McFarland.
Yeah, and that was another thing we talked about on our recording today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many people that are top-notch athletes. Like, this isn't like any other year where we try and, like, hype up somebody and be like, oh, we're going to do this because we got this guy. No, these guys actually have proven records. They have proven, like, track records of being a guy. Allen Robinson, like we said with DeMarcus, when he's healthy, top 15 receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't drop the ball, and you can see the dynamic they're going with. They're going for big-bodied receivers now. I mean, they signed Akeem Butler. We got Miles Boykin back. We got Allen Robinson. We got George Pickens. That's 4 guys right there that are over 6'2".
Yeah.
And then you add in Deontay Johnson and Calvin Austin into that mix. It's great. And that's not even talking about Darnell Washington, who's 6'7", 6'8", who runs a 4.6 40. Those tight end screens might actually work now.
Yeah. And again, at times, like, even if the slot struggles, we can still utilize Pat in the slot while Darnell is our main tight end. Like, yeah, we come out in, like, bunch formations, two tight end personnel. But again, put Pat in the slot and line up for a big pass. We got options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I didn't even say Pat's name. I don't think I said Pat's name in that.
Yeah.
And I called Derwin out for not doing the same thing in our recording. I mean, it's the sky's the limit. The only thing that could hinder us is
Canada.
Yeah, Matt Canada with play calling. I mean, there's no excuse not to score in the red zone every single time.
Again, we don't even need Pickett to be elite as long as he's an effective game manager. This offense is set roster-wise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if let's say Kenny isn't who we thought, well, let's say he's not who we think he's going to be, and he's just like Alex Smith, which Alex Smith was still a great NFL quarterback.
Yeah. I would still take an Alex Smith in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, you got Najee, who's 230, 220, 230. He's a freak athlete and everything like that. Yeah. Then you got Jaylen Warren. I mean, if you're not scoring in the red zone with the run game, you have no excuse to not score in the passing game. Because like I said, you can line up George, Allen on the outside and then have your slot receivers in Calvin and Deontay Johnson, who are extremely they're extremely underrated route runners. I don't think he gets enough attention for how he is as a route runner. And I don't think in my personal opinion, Calvin was a top 3 route runner in his draft class last year. I mean, he tore those cornerbacks up in the Senior Bowl last season.
Yeah. Remember, even Sauce Gardner was talking about how Calvin Austin tore him up.
Calvin Austin would have been the only receiver to score on him if Sauce didn't get a penalty called on him that game. I think he grabbed him.
Yeah.
Because that was Sauce's big thing was nobody ever scored a touchdown on him. It was Calvin Austin would have.
Yeah, he could have if he wasn't being held.
Yeah, and what makes me root for him even more is the fact that we took him above the Ravens, and we knew the Ravens wanted him, and I just want him to succeed more to that. Which hopefully we can get him on the 3 Point Stance podcast.
Yeah.
His agent reached out to me. He told me not to follow up again after 3 follow-ups, that they'll circle back. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, it is what it is. It's a business. Yeah. We will go to, I guess this isn't really a question, but it's a statement. We'll go to this last one, and then we will sign things off because I got to eat dinner. My kids are back from South Dakota, so I need to spend some time with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. So I would like to see Kenny Pickett make improvements from last season, grow as a quarterback. So yeah, this is not really a question; it's more of a statement.
Yeah,
but I think we all feel that way, right, Chris?
Yeah, of course. Again, he's a rookie. He had flashes, but of course he's a rookie, so he's not going to be perfect. Again, this is his step up. I would say last year he was the 20th best quarterback in the league. Again, with this offense and another year in the system, he's got to move it up.
So, yeah, I think statistically, I think he was 20th or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was statistically. That's just like in my opinion after watching the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have no clue. I have no clue what he was statistically. I know in touchdowns he was probably near the bottom, but again, it's one of those things like you saw the improvement from before the bye week and after the bye week.
Yeah, and that's kind of where because I know a lot of like analysts and I will say there's a lot of analysts on Kenny's side. They saw the potential in the last 5 or 6 games of last year, what he was able to do against the Ravens, the Raiders. Had a very solid game at that last game against the Browns. And now he's just picking up. I mean, you haven't heard a negative thing about Kenny this year. So
except for that pick 6.
Which pick 6? Oh, the Mark Robinson one. Yeah. That I mean, that's really the only thing. But at the same time, that's against our guys.
Again, it's camp. So, it doesn't matter much yet.
Yeah. I mean, we expect, our defense to be like that because we expect to have a top 1 defense.
Yeah.
This year, I can't say it any other way. I don't expect them to be 5, 4, 3, or 2. I expect them to be number 1.
Exactly.
Especially with the additions they made, the links, the type of corners we have now, and the tall, physical guys. Tomlin's labeled Joey and Corey Trice as the avatar corners.
Yeah. Although with Trice though, it's one of those things like he's gonna be a project like Mark Robinson. He'll show up every now and then, but like he's not gonna get much playing time outside special teams this year. Maybe next year too. It'll be a few years before he comes out.
So that's kind of what I thought at first. But like seeing what's transpiring and all the reports coming out about him, I was like, I mean, I think there's a chance he pushes Levi.
Yeah.
For playing time, because I think Joey's going to get playing time.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Pat Pete in the slot a lot more than anticipated this year. And
maybe.
Why wouldn't you want your smartest? He's probably the smartest guy on defense.
Exactly.
With his age and how many reps he's gotten against offenses and everything like that. Why wouldn't you want your smartest guy to be in the slot? Because all these offenses now, they utilize the slot so much.
Yeah, it's like the base, like 3-4 and 4-3 base defenses are pretty much dead. The base defense is the nickel.
Yep.
It's just whether it's a 3-3 or a 2-4. That's it.
And that's where it's beneficial. That's where I think the Steelers are ahead a little bit. I mean, I'm not too familiar with other teams' fan bases and other teams' coaches and how they're coaching their teams, but I think that's where we're far and ahead, where we get that, third safety that is a linebacker / safety. And I think that's exactly where it brought in KZ last year.
That's the exact reason why we brought him in.
Yep.
And then he broke his arm. And then when he came back, Minka Fitzpatrick was out with an appendectomy. So even in his first game, he was at free safety.
Yep.
And then Christmas night, Edmonds was out, so he was at strong safety.
Yep.
When they were both healthy, he was inside linebacker. Like again, with him, Casey and Fitzpatrick, like I said before, they are going to rotate where everybody plays at the safety position, and it is going to confuse everybody.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, people can't forget Casey led the league in interceptions not too long ago.
Yeah.
When the Falcons blew that Super Bowl against the Patriots. R.I.P. to Matt Ryan. I feel bad for that guy for that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a lot of optimism for us this year, and I'm glad everybody's sleeping on us because we play better when everybody's sleeping on us.
Yep.
And I think somebody in these comments said, yep, right here. 05 vibes, all I'm going to say. And I completely agreed with it, and it's not just based off of having a second-year quarterback into the season. I mean, we expected a better record in that 2005 year than we even got. Mm-hmm. We were 11-5. 11-5. We were a 6th seed coming off a 15-1 season with the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time.
Yep.
I mean,
and lost 3 straight to end the season.
Yeah.
It looked like, this team has no momentum going into the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, it was it's there's good feelings around this team, and like I've said before, I mean, I can't think of any holes anymore on this team that need to be filled. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. It's all going to depend on what they do with it.
Yeah.
So, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We had DeMarcus. We had Chris. I mean, I had a good time. I hope everybody else had a good time. Chris, you have anything to say? Let everybody know.
No, I'm good for now, but yeah, thanks for everyone for showing up. Keep tuning into this guy's podcast. It's really good.
Thanks, Chris.
No problem. And I'll come back whenever I can.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll always send the link out anytime, I'm on or myself and Derwin are on. We love, we're one big family over here at Steeler Nation. We want everybody to get their shine. We want everybody to get noticed. We want it all. We want everybody to answer these types of questions because any question is a great question, in my opinion.
Yep.
So, all right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks again, Chris, for hopping on. And, peace.
Peace.